So today we have chapter 11, and chapter 11 talks about pricing strategies. And let's see what are some of the pricing strategies that businesses can do. Um, Pricing strategies, we've got this topic outline new product pricing strategies, product mix strategy, pricing strategies, adjustment, changes, and policy. So if we remember in this course, we talked about the importance of the four P's, and we said that the four P's are important because this the marketing makes any company in order to have good relationship with their customer. They have to have a good product, good price, good promotion, good place, and that's how you can successfully have good marketing strategy. So let's see how these will work in this chapter. Number one, we've got this new product pricing strategy. Remember when we talked about new products? We talked about the new products, and we said some of the new products will include how you can, come up with a new product in chapter 9. And now in chapter 11, we talk about how you price it. Now there are two main strategies when it comes to new product pricing. Either you do it skimming. Skimming, that's when you do a high price, and or you do penetration. Penetration when you do a low price. So what is the benefit of skimming? You get a lot of money. What's the benefit of penetration? You get a lot of customers. So either you get a market share or you get a more profit. So those are the two strategies. So with skimming, you have high initial price, you skim revenues, you get a lot of money. Product quality must support it. You can't have an expensive product if it's low quality, right? So if you have a new product and it's a very good high quality, then you can charge it high, right? You have to have buyers must want the product at this price. You can't put a price which is above, more than it's impossible. You have to have cost of producing the product should be small. You can't have it. It needs you need to be able uh, to produce a lot, and you need to be able to make profit. Remember, if you do expensive, a lot of people will buy, or a few people will buy. Few people will buy. Now, because you have few people, then you will produce few. If you produce few, it will be expensive. So you want to make sure that it is expensive and you make money, not it's expensive because you produce few. You see that? And competitors should not be able to enter the market easily. Because anything you start to sell high, what happens? Competition follow you. So if you put it your, let's take an example. Remember Apple when they introduced their new iPad? Do you know that the manufacturing cost for an iPad is like $40, but they sell it for $800? Now, when they sell it for $800, they needed to make sure they have a lot of copyright and patent and make sure that the competition will not be able to follow them. Because immediately after they introduced iPads, what happened? A lot of people started to produce those tablets and tabs, and you see, and some of these special personal gadgets and personal devices and so on. So once you start to sell something expensive, a lot of people follow you, right? So you need to watch out that your followers will not be easily able to do it. Next, we've got here new product strategy, pricing strategy, penetration. Penetration is the opposite. Penetration, you put the price high or low? No. Low. And you set low initial prices in order to penetrate the market quickly and deeply. Do you remember Android? Android was sold for free, right? Why do they give it free to everyone? Because they want to gain the market share. All the new mobile phones now are using Android, right? So that's an example of a new product that was completely penetration. Price sensitive markets and inverse relationship production distribution cost to sales growth. And there's a low prices keep competition out of the market. Do you have any new competitors now? It is very difficult, right? So anyone who wants to compete with Android and Apple iOS, they will find very difficult time because they don't make money. Product mix pricing strategies. Now here we've got this product mix pricing. This is not necessarily for your new product, rather for your how you manage your mix. Let's see. For example, we've got product line pricing. Product line pricing is when you start to price your products depending on their line. For example, if you go to a store that sells, let's say, suits, sometimes they decided to, when they price it based on the product line. So they will have the 150 suits, $100 suits, $350 suits. Which suits would you buy? Which one? $100, 150, 350. See, so basically that kind of keep it easier for you as a customer to select, and at the same time it is easier for the company to price, and you try to make the prices in three levels. Customers understand the prices, customers make the pricing decision easier, and then they can, get the customer. So that's product line pricing. Optional product pricing, that's when you start to sell your product, you sell your basic product, and then you add options. Remember, if you go and you want to buy a car, you can buy the car, which is four wheels and an engine. Now, do you want options? What options do you want? Each option you add, you pay for it. Remember, you order a pizza, then you're paying pizza for 1,200. Now, what do you want? Topping. You want onions? $20. You want green apples? They'll give you more, you see. So there are options that you can add. So this way, the customer will see the price low. But if they add options, it'll become the same. Captive pricing, product pricing. Remember when you buy a printer? Buy a printer. You also have to buy the cartridge for the ink, right? So if you sell printers, do you want to sell the printer cheap or expensive? Cheap. Okay. When you sell the cartridge, do you want to sell the cartridge cheap or expensive? You see? So sometimes you want to make money from this additional, from the cartridge, not necessarily from the printer. Remember the SIM card? You buy a line. Okay. Sometimes you go and you buy a mobile phone for 1 cent. Why they do that? Because the airtime, right? So the SIM card may be free, but you have to get airtime. So you have to get scratch cards. You have to have subscription fee. So they make money from the subscription fee rather than from the actual SIM card. You see? Remember this, the blade and razors, right? So sometimes they give you this machine for 2,000 or 1,000, or maybe give it you free. As long as you will get the blades, because the blades you'll have to change them every once in a while. The more you change them, the more they make money. Byproduct pricing. Sometimes byproduct pricing is you need to look into all of the byproducts. Do you know what we mean by byproduct? Things come along with. Do you see? In the book, if you read, they have the story of the cow. Do you know cows? They have a cow poo. All of the cows, like inside the zoo, there's a lot of types of poos. Because all of the animals, they all of their all of the poo of all the animals, they take it all and then they recycle it. And after they recycle it, they make it as a fertilizer. So they sell it, and they make money. So maybe that's part of the pricing. So you need to kind of look at the byproduct. Okay. Sometimes other examples will look into, let's say, anything that you do and it has a byproduct, then this takes into consideration part of the pricing. Product bundle pricing. Do you remember when you go into the restaurant and they tell you, do you want to get the sandwich or do you want to get the meal? What do they mean by the meal? The meal, they give you maybe French fries or a drink or some other dessert or that go along, and they sell you as a bundle. So if you want to buy every one of them individually, separate, it will be more expensive than the bundle, right? But so that's product bundling. Are you okay with those 5? Here we've got the product line pricing. You look into the cost differences between products in line. Consumer evaluate their features and competitors' price. Optional, you take into optional or accessories along with the main product. Captive, you look into the products that must be used along with the main product. So you have to have them together. Byproduct, products with the little or no value that is produced as a result of the main product. So producers will seek little or no profit other than the cost of coverage, storage, or delivery. And then the bundle pricing, combine several products at a reduced price. For your project, which one of these do you think is suitable? In your project company, which one of these 5 they use? Do they use any of these? Maybe the first one they do this optional, the product line. So they have different lines in each line. Okay. Now here we're looking to strategies for price adjustment. Okay. So maybe you go and you set your price for this amount. Okay. Let's say you sell airline tickets for $400. You go from Sana'a to Cairo. Sometimes, how do you adjust the prices? Because adjusting prices can be very critical, right? Because what happens if you drop prices? What do customers think? If you raise prices, what do customers think? So there's consequences. So here, we look into some of the prices to do some of the adjustments. So sometimes they do this discount or allowance. You know what's a discount? So they tell you, hey, we have this end of year discount. Okay. Eid discount, Ramadan discount, Christmas discount, all types of discounts. Sometimes they give you allowance. Okay, so sometimes maybe they will not lower the price; they give you more. Okay, so give you for the same price, but you get more. So that's some sort of allowance. Segmented pricing is when you sell your same product, different prices, different places. Right? You remember when you buy a coffee in a hotel, 5-star hotel? How much is a coffee in an airport? The same coffee inside a shop, in a mall, in a popular area, in a public space, in a private university, in an open public park. So here it gives you the segmented prices. How you price differently for different segments. Maybe location. Okay. Also for the type of customer. So maybe inside the same place, let's say you go to the business floor, a different price. You go to the vacation, to the let's say for vacationers, different price. So maybe depending on the customer segment. We'll take another example. There's an example here in the later slide. Psychological pricing. Do you know what psychological pricing? According to research, we found that if you go and you buy a shoe, and this is a good shoe, and there is 2 shoes, a shoe for $44. Is it expensive or cheap? $44. Somehow expensive. It's not cheap. And then you look at another shoe for $49. The $49 seems to be cheaper than the $44. Because customers in their mind, when they look at the $44, they think this shoe is really worth $40. Now they sell for $44. That's 10% more expensive. But when they look at the $49 shoe, they think this is a $50 shoe. And it is $49, so it's $1 cheaper. So they start to think that $49 is cheaper than $44. You see, sometimes this is psychological. Also, some people remember when you go and you buy for $99. You think it's less than $100. You see, if I tell you, this is for $200, that's expensive for $200. But for $199, you're still in the $199, in the $100. So there's this also psychological. Some people say that odd numbers, they tend to be cheaper for some reason. So this is like psychological. Promotional pricing is when they have a promotion. So we say, hey, we've got this special promotion, and this is only if you do today, we'll get you this promotion. Okay. Do customers think it says they lowered the prices? No, they think it's a promotion. Geographical pricing is when it depends on the location, on the country. And here we're talking about, geographical pricing between, maybe you're talking about, between Beit Boz and Hasaba, or geographical between Sana'a and Aden, geographical between, Sana'a and Dubai, geographical between Hong Kong and New York. So here I'm talking about geographical pricing. Dynamic pricing is the prices that changes frequently, especially now with the internet and websites. They may change the prices without you paying attention. Remember airlines? An airline pricing will highly change, right? You go today on the airline, you check it on the website, you see it for $2, $200. You check tomorrow, you may find it 150. Maybe tomorrow it will be 150, but if you want the morning, it will be 300. If you want the evening, it will be 150. Do you see? So a very dynamic price. And then we have international pricing. International pricing, we mean it's not geographical. International pricing is when you sell differently according to the population. That is when you go, depending on the economy that you sell, depending on the social society, depending on the cultural issues, has to do with the country. You see? So here we're talking about how you price for different countries depending on their tastes and preferences. Any questions on these? Let's go through each one of these quickly. Discount and allowance pricing reduces the price to reward customer response, such as paying early or promoting the product. Discounts and allowances. Segmented pricing is used when a company sells a product at two or more prices, even though the differences is not based on cost. Yeah, what about you come at 12? Do you have a class at 12 or no?
We have at
What time you finish?
huh?
What time you finish?
The
Yes.
like
So that's segmented pricing. Here we've got two or more prices, even though the differences is not based on cost. Do you see what you see on the picture? Water, Evian. Now they're both water, but one water it is for drinking. Okay, maybe $1. And then there is the other one. It's like more water spray. You spray yourself with the water. That's maybe for $5. They're both the same water. It's just the way they use it and who uses it and how. You see. Next, we've got this segmented pricing. To be effective, you need to have market must be segmentable. Segments must show differences in degrees of demand. Watching the market cannot exceed extra revenue obtaining from the price differences. It has to be legal. Sometimes, if you start to sell the same product for different people based on non materialized reasons, and there's no substance for why your price is different, then you may have illegal consequences because you don't want to start to sell different prices to different people based on their skin color, right? Psychological pricing occurs when the seller considers the psychology of pricing, not simple economics. So here they start to sell it and they put the price based on the psychology, not on the economics. Reference prices are prices that buyers carry in their mind and refer to when looking at a given product, noting current prices, remembering past prices, and assessing the buyer's situation. Do you remember last time you bought a shampoo? Remember how much you paid for it? How much you paid? 1,200. Now, next time you go and you buy a shampoo, you have this reference price in your head, right? And that's how you build. If you go and you find 1,300, you see it's expensive. If you find a shampoo for 900, you think it's cheaper. You see? So basically how you reference. Sometimes in some of these businesses when they have their pricing, if you look at the pricing inside the shopping, if you see very expensive, you see very cheap, and you find in the middle, then you make your decision based on your references of what you see. You see? So that's also another example of psychological. So people think it's cheap or expensive because they compare between those products. You see, not many people are as you remember how much they paid maybe for the shampoo last time. You see, so as people forget, they go and they will start to build their psychology a reference point for what is expensive and what's cheap at the moment of purchase. Pricing adjustment, we've got this promotional pricing. Sometimes you want to be a loss leader. You do a promotion because for several reasons. You can do a promotion to get customers to your store. Remember when Shumaila Harris used to sell eggs? They send you one full of egg plate for very cheap price, like 100 riyal. Why is it so cheap? Because they want to do promotion for people to come to Shumaila Harris. Because if you come and you buy a plate of eggs, it means you're ready to purchase your home supply, right? So, and they tell you that you have to get only one plate of egg. You can't have more than one. You see? Yes. And if you notice, they do this at the end of the month. So people get their salaries, then they're ready to go to Shumela. You see? No one will go to Shumela to only buy a plate of egg. Anyone paid attention when you go to Shumela to buy a plate of egg? Have you bought a plate of egg from Shumela? Where do they sell the Shumela? Where do they sell the plates of eggs? At the very end, right? At the very back of the store. So you have to go through the entire store to the end to buy the plate of egg. And of course, while you're shopping, you see juices, you put them, you see shampoo, you put it, you see other, canned food, you buy it. And by the time you reach, sometimes they tell you, oh, we're finished because all of the eggs are fresh. What do? You continue shopping and you go home, right? But they already got you in the first place. These are other ways. You have this loss leaders, the special event pricing where it's, because Christmas or because it's Eid or cash rebates. Sometimes they tell you cash rebates when you go and you buy and they tell you, okay, you pay for it full price now. But after you register, we will give you cash back or rebate. Low interest financing, that's when they tell you, okay, you can buy it today and you pay for it later. And maybe you don't have to pay interest. Longer warranties. Sometimes they tell you, okay, would you like to buy it with, instead of 1, we'll give you 3-year warranty. So people are now think it's a promotion. And also there's sometimes free maintenance. Risks of promotional pricing. Is promotional pricing good or bad? There are some risks associated. For example, it's used too frequently. Copies by competitors can create deal prone. Customers will wait for the promotions and avoid buying at regular prices. Anyone buy from Sony TV? If you want to buy a TV from Sony, when do you buy it? In Ramadan, right? Because in Ramadan they do their promotions, and that's the best time to buy. So do people buy in the middle of the year? No. They just wait until Ramadan because they know the promotions will be there. So that's one of the bad things about risks about promotion. So maybe they don't want to always do it in Ramadan only. Maybe do it in other times of the year. Or maybe try to show customers that they still can get at the regular prices some of the good products. Sometimes promotional pricing can give you a price war. Remember MTN and Sabah phone? This is drop for this floor. 3, 2, 1, 1. You see? Now they are in a competition for these packages. What's a package? 500. And then they drop to 400. And now they're trying to give you more time. You see? So sometimes these can be a war. Geographical prices, that's when you do customer different parts of the countries of the world. Do you know those FOB pricing? FOB pricing, let's say I'm going to buy something from China. And they tell you the price is $100. You ask them, $100, who's going to pay the shipping? If they tell you FOB, it means free on board original pricing. It means $100 inside China. Okay, and it's free on their board. So that's, you can get it from their, from the main port. You see? Sometimes they tell you, no, it's not FOB, it's CIF. You know what CIF? CIF, that's cost, insurance, freight is paid for. So if I tell you the price $100 CIF, it means we will give it to your home or to your door. Okay? So we will include, the price 100 includes all of the insurance and the freight and the cost of the goods. Uniform delivery pricing, that's when you sell the same price anywhere. Remember inside your, maybe your neighborhood, they tell you, hey, we've got this. Anyone who wants it within Medina Sakaniya or within Hasaba area, will give you the pizza at the same price. One uniform price. Okay. Remember the school bus? They do zone pricing. They tell you, if you are going to, the bus to Hasaba, this price. Anywhere in Beit Bost, this price. Anywhere inside this old city, this price. Basic point pricing, that's depending on what is the basic point. where do you get your product delivered from? Let's say, for example, you want to buy a Toyota car. You need special made. So they tell you, if you want to buy it, if you buy it from Dubai, it will be this price. If from Brasilia, it will be this price. From Tokyo, this price. So depending on what point you start from, will be the price. And then we have freight absorption pricing. That's when you put your price and it doesn't matter, with transportation or without. So if someone wanted delivered to their homes, you observe the price. You see. So FOB, that's free on board, means the goods are delivered to the carrier, a title of responsibility passes to the customer. So where your responsibility starts from? From their board. Uniform delivery pricing means the company charges the same price plus freight to all customers regardless of location. So here we have one uniform price and then you have to pay the cost. Zone pricing, you set up to 2 or more zones where customers within a given zone pay a single total price. Basing point means the seller will select a given city, basing point, and will charge the customers the freight costs associated from that city to the customer location, regardless of the city from which the goods are actually shipped. Okay. Freight absorption. Seller will absorb all or part of the actual freight charges as an incentive to attract businesses in a competitive market. So here you just take care of the transportation. Dynamic pricing. Now what is dynamic pricing? Prices are adjusted continually to meet characteristics and needs of the individual customers and situations. We talked about airline. International pricing, when you look at the economic condition, competitive condition, law, regulations, infrastructure, company, market objectives. Have you been to Red Tag? Did you see their pricing? Now, when you take the price, do you see Yemen? You see Qatar? You see Saudi Arabia? You see other countries? And you see the prices for every country. Now, sometimes you can see that the price, if you do the exchange rate, it will be the same. Sometimes it will be more expensive in Dubai. Sometimes it will be cheaper in Dubai. Why? Depending on how's the economic situation for people in Dubai. How's the economic competition, law, infrastructure, you see. So it's the same product. They sell it more expensive in Dubai and it is clear on their price. And you can see that here. Because when you change prices, what happens? Initial pricing strategies, we've got here price cuts will occur to why do you cut your prices? If you have a lot of capacity, maybe you can cut your prices, or you want to increase your market share, you want to get more customers. Why will you increase your price? You increase your price normally if the cost is increasing, so there's an inflation, or maybe there's an increase for demand, so a lot of customers want your product, so you have to increase your prices because you can't meet the demand, or maybe you don't have supply, so you will run out, right? So you increase your prices to keep your customers happy. Now, buyer reaction to price changes are follows. If you increase your price, people start to think this product is hot. Everyone's buying it, that's why it's expensive now. Or maybe the company is greedy. They want to make more money. Yeah, the company is greedy. They love themselves. They want to make more money. They don't care about us. They care about themselves only. They increase the price so they make more money. On the other hand, if you lower your prices and you have a price cut, then we've got this, people start to think, oh, maybe there's a new model coming. Or maybe the models are not selling well, that's why they lower the prices. Maybe they think, oh, maybe there's a problem with the quality, that's why they lower the prices. What do you think? Is this true? Yeah. Which one do you believe most if you think product is more expensive? What do you think if you go out and you see LIU increase prices? Okay, so they're greedy or their product is high? Now, if LIU increase prices, what do you think? Yeah, they're greedy. What do you think if they lower their prices? No students, so maybe they're not selling well. That's why they. Okay, you see how this is how the psychology of the customer. Now, you always want to respond to price changes. Yeah, there's always questions. Why did the competitor charge price? See, if you lower your prices or you increase your prices, not only customers have reactions, but also your competitors will start to think, hey, what's going on? They lower the prices or we lower the prices. What would you do if your competitor lowered their price? Will you follow them?
Yes.
You follow your price.
Because they all change.
Yeah, so uh, you also see before you lower your prices and you follow your competitors, you want to think about why they did it. Maybe you have a reason. Number two, you want to see is it temporarily or is it permanent? You want to also to think about what are the effects, how is your market share will be affected. Sometimes they may lower their prices to their customers, but your customers are not going to change. Will competitors respond? You always want to think. Now, if they lower and you lower, what's going to happen? They may lower more. You see? So you want to think about the consequences. You see? So you want to be a competitor, but you don't want to be like a close competitor. You want to kind of think about it more and be more, wise into how you respond. The solution: you reduce prices to match competitors. Maybe some people will maintain price. Your competitor lower, you keep your price, but you give customers more. You see? Sometimes if your competitor lower their price, maybe you keep the same price, or maybe you increase and you give them more quality. So you make your competitor look like cheap. Sometimes if if your competitor lower price and you don't want to lower your price, you create a new brand that is cheap. Do you remember Emirates Airlines? They're very premium. Now a lot of airlines they compete. Cheap airline. So what did they do? They make a new airline. Fly Dubai very cheap. So if you want to compete cheap, you go Fly Dubai. If you want high, come Emirates. This is some kind of a flow chart. You have a competitor, they cut prices. If no, you keep your prices. If yes, you see, will the lower of prices, will it negatively affect you? If no, then you hold your price. If it will affect your profits and market share, then you want to see, can this affect? Can you take action? If yes, then you have these actions. If no, then you hold it. These are the actions. Either you reduce price, you raise your perceived value, you improve your quality, and you increase price, or maybe you launch a new low price fighting brand. Are you okay? All right. So this is the part of this.